hard to get everything out and trying to figure out like what happened and cope with everything and really know what happened and how everything went. And
thank you, Louis. We know it's a very difficult day. We thank you very much for joining
Thank you.
us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, we never thought we would meet Luis Lopez today, and believe me, he did not want to meet us. He says he went to Pulse for years, and he is still waiting to hear if some of his friends are okay. You know, he also told us, Charlie, that he had never heard gunshots in his life, and at first they thought it was part of the music. And then you find out that you're in the middle of a situation that you never thought that you would be in.
I'm also struck by everybody who was there, everybody who's been touched by this. All the questions we have, they have more questions.
Yes, yes, because they know these people. Patty Sheehan is a perfect example of that. She's Orlando's first openly gay commissioner, and she joins us now. Good morning to you, Patty.
Good morning, Gail.
We're so
Charlie.
sorry to see you under these circumstances.
I am too. I mean, this is just a horrible day for our city and, you know, for these families who are still suffering. We have identified everyone, but not all the notifications have been made yet. Some of the folks are out of state. We're trying to get those notifications out because, you know, some of these poor families
We're still waiting.
Well, and this is the largest crime scene that we've had to process in Orlando. So, you know, it's taking us some time. The FBI is a lead investigation, and, you know, we have to follow the proper protocol.
But it's the largest mass shooting in U.S. history, as we know. And you were telling us that you know Pulse, you know this community.
I know Pulse.
What can you tell us about this club?
This is a great club. I mean, this is a really nice club. You know, a lot of gay clubs could be kind of seedy and things like that, but you know, Barbara, the owner of this club, wanted to make this really nice because it was in honor of her brother who passed of AIDS. She's a wonderful person in this community, and the fact that this happened in her club, she's just devastated.
And you've been there.
I have been there many times. I mean, we've had political fundraisers there. We've had, you know, community actions there. They're very supportive of the LGBT community. Wonderful people. So, you know, it's just heartbreaking that someone picked this club in the heart of our community to do this. And this is our Main Street district. We're just blocks from City Hall.
Do you worry that it's now turning into a political issue? Does that bother you?
Something that bothers me is I've heard a lot of politicians talking that did not support hate crimes legislation, that have not supported my community. And if they want to have a change of heart, I encourage that, because if this isn't an example of how my community is victimized and hated and harmed, nothing will change their heart if this doesn't.
Because you knew people and because you're city commissioner, can you tell us anybody who saw the gunman and what they told you?
Yeah, I can't substantiate it because I had a young man that talked to me last night, but he said that that at first he thought it was music, and that, you know, and then people just started scattering, and that several of the people had gone to the bathroom and a dressing room. And that's where they were kind of trying to get away from the gunman.
Yeah, we heard stories of people huddled in a room that were freed only after somebody ripped the air conditioner out.
Yes.
And they went climbing out to escape to freedom.
But then they would say there were moments of silence when he stopped shooting where he was reloading the clip, putting in another clip.
And the other thing, people were playing dead so they wouldn't be shot. And when the police came in, they said that the police asked anybody who's alive to put their hands up, which is horrifying, if you can only imagine.
You know what, Luis Lopez told us that he's the first one I heard Charlie say this, that he actually saw the gunman in the club, that he seemed to be enjoying himself because it is a very welcoming community.
See, I had heard that he was in there previously, too.
Yes.
So...
that he may have been at this club another day. Or on this particular evening.
For a while. I have heard though that he hates the gay community and things like that, and it's just.
And you hear that and you think, what? I'm so struck by that.
Why? We're just good people. These are young people out trying to have a good time. When I was their age, I was out at this club and others in the city. I just don't understand how anyone could do this to my community, and I'm heartbroken because I didn't know a lot of them personally because they're younger than me, but they're members of my community, and I feel just heartbroken over this.
At a moment like this, everybody is supporting of law enforcement and their investigation, and thinking about the victims. But could they have done this earlier? Were there reasons they didn't go in until they did?
Because it was a hostage situation.
That's the reason they waited?
Yes, there was already a lot of people had been shot. The gunman was going out, then went back in.
And
then
communicating
to 9/11.
And
then he was not shooting people, so they were trying to negotiate him to release people. Then they decided to do what they did in terms of breaking the wall.
Have you heard how it turned into a hostage situation? Because I heard he walked in and started shooting.
He walked in and started shooting, then he went out, and then he came back in.
Out of the building?
Yeah, he started to go back out, and he went back in the building.
And said, everybody, you stay here with me?
Yes.
Is that
I don't know exactly what he said.
Have you heard the 9/11 tape?
No, I have not.
But do you know what's on it?
I have not heard any of it.
What can the people do to help you now at this point, Patty?
Right now, we're asking. I'm so happy that you told me about the vigils happening around the world. That's lovely. But
Yes.
here in Orlando, we do not need the law enforcement resources spread any thinner. We need people to just go to their churches, go to their places of worship, do whatever they ever need to take care of themselves.
You're saying hold off on vigils.
Hold off on
for
vigils
now.
in Orlando,
Yes.
because right now, if you look down the street, there's
Yeah, I
still
see.
hundreds of officers on the
see.
scene.
Yes.
Eventually, we're going to have to open the street back up. So again, this is not the time for vigils, but give blood, give give money to proper organizations that you know are good organizations. Do what you need to do, but we'll hold off on the vigils. We'll have something later on. And I think we need to make it about the victims. Once we have everyone identified, this should be an homage to the victims, these young people that were cut down by a madman, by a terrorist in
In the worst of ways.
Thank you,
the
Patty.
best times of their life.
Yes, we have heard so many people say, how does it happen here? Thank you, Patty. Thank you very much. Again, we're sorry for these circumstances. The Tony Awards, they took a stand against hate last night. Ahead, how Broadway's biggest stars paid tribute to the victims of the Orlando shooting. But first, we've got a check of your local weather.
Today's going to be nice and comfortable. Humidity is lower and temperatures are headed to the low 80s instead of those mid 90s that we saw over the weekend. Sunshine across the board by lunchtime, 73, and winds only about 10 miles per hour. That's going to feel pretty good. Tomorrow we get a little bit warmer, but still on the nice side. 85, clouds increase later on into the evening. Now for Wednesday, a few showers during the evening hours. 88, warm, but at least we're not into the 90s. Best rain chance for this week looks to be on Thursday, and a dry weekend ahead.
WUSA 9 News is sponsored in part by Colonial Williamsburg.
The best vacation in history is waiting for you in Williamsburg, Virginia. From carriage rides to thrill rides, water brigades to water slides. The freedom to just be a kid, or to just being a kid at heart. Your pursuit of happiness starts here. Book your vacation at colonialwilliamsburg.com and get Busch Gardens and Water Country USA for one low price. Visit colonialwilliamsburg.com today.
There are lots of ways to ask a friend about Toyota. See what they're saying about Corolla, with an interior that will keep you connected and designed to elevate your style, while also being an excellent value according to IntelliChoice. Go to buyatoyota.com to learn more about Corolla, including great deals, like a Corolla LE lease for only $149 a month, or buy one with $1,500 cash back or 0% APR. Shop Toyota.